On next Wednesday, Prabhuji, on 1st of May,
For next Wednesday.
for 2 weeks.
Okay. For 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. All the best. Hare Krishna. You'll be going in a very tense atmosphere.
Yes, the heat is very high, plus other heat is high. The whole
Yeah.
going on. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, who would like to start the realization? Others can join in. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu, Her Grace Purna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu for organizing this class and giving me chance to share my realization. Shila Gurudev ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are on Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, verse 8. So I'll recite the verse. Yeah. Mayyeva mana adhashtva मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवश्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः मयि एव मना अधस्त्वा मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवश्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः मय्येव मना अधस्त्वा मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवश्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः. What was Sonam? Translation and Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mai, unto me. Eva, certainly. Manaha, mind. Adhastva, fix. Mai, upon me. Buddhim, intelligence. Niveshaya, apply. Nivashyasi, you lead. Mai, unto me. Eva, certainly. Ataha, therefore. Urdhavam, up. Na, never. Samshayaha, doubt. Unto me, certainly. Mind, fix upon me. Intelligence, apply. You lead unto me. Certainly, therefore, up, never doubt. Translation. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always, without doubt. Purport. One who is engaged in Lord Krishna's devotion service lives in a direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. So there is no doubt that his position is transcendental from the very beginning. A devotee does not live on the material plane. He lives in Krishna. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are known different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. When he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in the Gita and in other Vedic literatures. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, the word stand out for me here is Niveshaya, and Srila Prabhupada translated as apply. Engage all your intelligence in me. So first point is that a pure devotee of the Lord is in a direct relationship with the Lord. So he becomes transcendental because of unalloyed devotion service. So this chapter's name is devotion service. And Lord Sri Krishna is describing the pure devotion service. Last verse we have studied that there are 6 types of activities of a pure devotee, and in this verse, Lord is explaining that when one is engaged in these devotional activities, then the mind is fixed in Krishna and intelligence is engaged. So we know that above the mind is intelligence, and when we study scriptures and study Srila Prabhupada purpose, then we engaging our intelligence and mind in Krishna. So this niveshaya is done. The more we are engaged, the more we get purified in heart and intelligence and our mind. So the engagement is very important. And Srila Prabhupada are saying that one who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so. Although this is a process recommended in the Gita and other Vedic literatures. So I understood that engagement is required, not just reading the scriptures, but to apply the knowledge in our lives. And I'm very much grateful to His Grace Amrish Prabhuji and his family to engaging me and my family through Hare Krishna weekend in devotional activities. Otherwise, we are bound to engage in material activities. And with the like-minded devotee association, we are engaged in the right direction and trying our best to serve the devotees and Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. So this engagement is very important, and that's what we really can do actually, because results are not in our hands. And in next few verses, Lord Shri Krishna will explain that if you cannot fix your mind, then engage in devotion service, and if that is not possible, then work for me. And if that is not possible, then you can give result to me. So all these are some or other, some way we can get engaged in devotion service with Krishna in the center. So that is important, because this is a pure devotion service, unalloyed to Krishna. So that's what the main point I realized from this verse about applying or niveshaya, buddhi niveshaya in Krishna. So that's what my realization is. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Sanjay Prabhu, for your nice realization. Thank you, Amrish Prabhuji. Thank you, Purnamada Devidashi Mataji. And thank you, Krishna Sabha and Krishna Das Prabhu, for giving me an opportunity to give my realization and training. We are on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verse 8, devotional service. Mayeva mana adhyatsva, mayi buddhim niveshaya, nivasishyasi mayeva, atavurdham na samshaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Ki Jai. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So my realization from this here in translation, Srila Prabhupada says that in translation, Lord says that fix your mind on me. So what it means to me is that always think of Krishna, like when one person, Srila Prabhupada has given in one of his lecture, given an example about that. When person is deeply in love with someone, which is beloved, and he always think of that beloved person. Similarly, we should try to think of Krishna in everything what we are doing it. Here, Krishna is inviting us to become fully absorbed in him, both our mind and our intelligence. Also, the another in translation, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on that engage your intelligence in me. It means for me is to understanding to serve the Krishna, learn about Krishna, understand about his teaching, and consciously decide to follow him. So, if we are really sincere, if you do sincerely our service, Krishna promises here that he he will live in him, in with us, within us. Meaning we will always be connected with him, not even now, but even after the death also, we will be connected to Lord Krishna if sincerely, if we do our devotional service. So there is no doubt about it, because Krishna is giving a guarantee here. Srila Prabhupada says that we to always remember Krishna and never forget him. Chanting, so it's like, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is the best way to fix the mind and intelligence on Krishna, especially in this modern age. In purport also, Srila Prabhupada says that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord, they are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, and his eternal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. So we have to chant with sincerity, and also engage our mind. Sanjay Prabhu mentioned that the engagement is required, and apply knowledge knowledge to use in Krishna consciousness. So we have to engage, but with faith. And Srila Prabhupada says that if you are not sure about, thinking of Krishna, so Srila Prabhupada says that it is, if it is initially, then yes, your mind will be moving here and there like a monkey mind. So you have to start practicing. So that's slowly begin with the regular habits like chant Hare Krishna mantra, be in association with the like-minded devotees, try to read the Bhagavad Gita in association of the devotees, worship Krishna, offer food. So like this small, once you start practicing this, your mind will naturally become fixed on Krishna's slowly and slowly. Just like, work for Krishna, do your job sincerely, your duties, but offer whatever the results are there, those you must offer to the Krishna. Do not attach to the results. So use, and even if you're working for someone, or you're working for your material thing, but use that money like intelligently, and use for the Krishna's mission. Whatever you are cooking, you cook for Krishna, and whatever knowledge you are having, share that knowledge with others, so that your mind, your heart will be slowly and slowly attached to the Krishna's service, not attached to the material things. So if you work honestly, and that outcome mentally, whatever the outcome is coming, that you should not be attached to that outcome. Whatever it comes, you accept it, and try to purify the heart by the bhakti, by thinking always Krishna 24/7, and chant Hare Krishna mantra, and always keep your mind fixed on the Krishna. Keep Krishna in the center, and the things will happen slowly, and then you always engage in Krishna consciousness, and the mind will be peaceful. And yeah, so this is my relation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Hare, thank you, His Grace Ambrish Prabhu, our Grace Purnipagna Devi Mataji, and Grace Krishna Samarpan Krish Prabhu, and thank you, devotees, for your time and sharing your nice realizations. And thank you, Ambrish Prabhu, for these classes on Wednesday, which inspire us to read books. I remember, I think we are having almost 15 years of these classes also, way back in 2008 or 9 or 10, something, when we started. Wednesday classes are always there, but Bhagavad Gita, we started quite about 2010, 11. I don't know the date. So it has been a long time. So this verse is Maya eva mana adhas stva Mayi buddhim niveshayaha nivasisyashi mayeva ata urdhvam na sansayah. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. And there are two sides of this verse, as Sanjeev Prabhu and Sopan Prabhu discussed about the mind and the devotional service and about the chapter. But I was thinking about Nivasyashi Mai Eva, and before that, Mai Buddhim Nivesaya. So engage all your intelligence in me, and you will live in me always without a doubt. So we talk about mind a lot. Mind is that, mind does that, and mind has to be done and engage. And yeah, we have got so many theories, so many philosophies, mind and senses. But this intelligence, which is above mind, I feel it is not that much talked about. Of course, we are becoming Krishna conscious so that our intelligence become, that's what Prabhupada is talking about, that we can use our intelligence to become Krishna conscious. So I was thinking about intelligence, Mai Buddhim Niveshaya. So this intelligence, and very nicely Krishna says, you will live in me always without a doubt. Means the doubt is related to intelligence. So I'm going to share that verse from Bhagavatam. Again, I've heard this verse from Amrish long back. And it talks very nicely about intelligence. And it talks about how to grow intelligence, how to build your intelligence. And I'm referring Bhagavatam here. So I hope I make sense. So the verse is like this. Taija satu vikur vanad buddhi tattvam abhut sati dravya sphurana vijanam Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. So Buddhi Tattvam. So this verse is about the Buddhi. And again, that same Buddhi Krishna is talking about the Buddhi Yoga. No? We talk about Buddhi Yoga. And the translation is like this. The transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. So this is how intelligence takes birth. I'll not go into details of that because that's not my expertise and that's not what we're discussing. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. O virtuous lady. The function of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into view and to help the senses. So this is the function of intelligence, to ascertain the nature of objects when we come across something. Okay, that's we all understand. There's nothing new here. But Bhagavatam is very, very, very clear. And very small few lines which I've highlighted from the purport. Intelligence is the discriminating power to understand an object, and it helps the senses make choices. That's the job intelligence. And therefore, intelligence is supposed to be the master of the senses. The perfection of intelligence is attained when one becomes fixed in the activity of Krishna consciousness. And by the proper use of intelligence, one's consciousness is expanded, and the ultimate expansion of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. So how we can grow our intelligence? By proper use of intelligence. And that proper use, that's the real challenge. That's where we start having our own philosophies. And that's why there's so many concepts floating around. Now the next verse from chapter 26 of verse Canto 3 is about how the intelligence is actually reflected. So the verse is Sansayo atha vipasyasyo viparyaso nischaya smitirevacha swapa ityucha pate buddhe lakshanam vriti prithaka. So these are the symptoms of intelligence. And it's very nicely, and we have heard this from Amrish Prabhu maybe thousands of times. Doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehensions, memory and sleep, as determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. So we need to figure out that how this verse relate to that verse which we are studying in Bhagavad Gita, where you can live without doubt in me, for a proper use of intelligence. And here it says that doubt, misapprehension, correct apprehension, memory and sleep, as determined by their different functions, are said to be the distinct characteristics of intelligence. These are the characteristics of intelligence. Then Prabhupada writes very nice purport. And it's very nicely Prabhupada describes, and he talks about that how to grow our intelligence, which I would like to share as my realization, and which probably helps me a lot. So Prabhupada talks about doubt. Doubt is one of the important function of intelligence. Yeah, so doubt is important. You must doubt. Blind acceptance of something does not give evidence of intelligence. Yeah, ignorance is no longer bliss. Therefore, the word sansaya is very important in order to cultivate intelligence. So by doubting, we become intelligent. What a theory. One should be doubtful in the beginning though, but doubting is not very favorable when information received from the proper source. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that doubting the words of the authority is the cause of destruction. That's the ultimate when we start doubting. So we have to know when to doubt and when not to doubt. And yeah, doubting, yeah, it's a different subject matter. Now this talks about this intelligence is also Prabhupada gave example of Sankhya philosophy and also from Patanjali yoga system also, which I would like to refer here because these are related to intelligence, no? How these concepts are really proven. As described in the Patanjali yoga system, pramana, vipraya, vikalpa, nidra, smritaya. By intelligence, only one can understand things as they are. By intelligence, only can one understand whether or not he is the body. The study to determine whether one's identity is spiritual or material begins in doubt. When one is able to analyze his actual position, the false identification with the body is detected. The viparayasa, when false identification is detected, then real identification can be understood. Real understanding is described here as nishchaya, or proved experimental knowledge after intelligence is utilized. This experimental knowledge can be achieved when one has understood the false knowledge. By experimental or proved knowledge, one can understand that he is not the body but spiritual soul. So Prabhupada is giving this concept. He doesn't know who is going to read the book. So he's writing for everyone. No? All kinds of people can read, and very nicely, very philosophically, and yeah, very thorough. Prabhupada is comparing this Sankhya philosophy and Patanjali philosophy, which I understood today the difference between those two. I know Amrish will discuss this about long back, and he will not be happy with me. Okay, now further, how to grow our intelligence. So that's what it's very interesting. Smriti means memory, and swapa means sleep. Okay, the sleep is also necessary to keep intelligence in working order. So sleeping is very important. Sleep is also necessary to keep the intelligence in working order. If there is no sleep, the brain cannot work nicely. And Prabhupada further writes, in Bhagavad Gita, it is specially mentioned that persons who regulate eating, sleeping, and other necessities of the body in the proper proportion becomes very successful in the yoga process by using their intelligence, of course. These are some of the aspects of analytical study of intelligence as described in both the Patanjali yoga system and the Sankhya philosophy system of Kapil Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapil Dev is talking about Sankhya philosophy when he's giving examples. And Patanjali is talking about experimental knowledge. We try and then we believe. If you have not tried, you have not tested, we don't believe. So Prabhupada is comparing both the theories so that we understand this intelligence nicely, and we can use intelligence nicely. We can grow our intelligence nicely. We can cultivate our, yeah, it talks about cultivation of intelligence also, and we can progress in Krishna consciousness. That's my lecture, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we are waiting for you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yes, we all can hear you. Please continue.
Hare Krishna.
We can hear you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Can you hear us? Hare Bol. You cannot hear us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me now?
We always could hear you, Prabhuji. Can you hear us?
Huh?
We could always hear you, but you could hear us. I think you cannot hear us, Prabhuji.
Off many times. Can you hear me now?
We always hear you. We can hear you all the time. No problem.
Okay.
Are you able to hear us?
I can hear you now, Prabhuji.
No. Yeah, you could not hear me before. Yeah, something was wrong
No,
there.
I just got caught up when Avinash Prabhu was speaking. I tried to reconnect.
Yeah, we can hear you all throughout. No problem.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear duties. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu. Hare Grace Pun Pradnya Mataji and His Grace Krishna Saman Pan Krishna Prabhu for training us and giving us opportunity to study and share our realization on Bhagavad Gita verses. And thank you, all the devotees, His Grace Sanju Prabhu, Avinash Prabhu, Sopan Prabhu, for your very nice realization. I think I couldn't able to hear Avinash Prabhu's realization because I cut off in the middle. So, Mayeva Mana Adhasva Mayi Buddhim Niveshaya Nivasishasi Mayeva Atha Urdhamna Samshayah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. So, as I think, as we have been discussing since the beginning of this chapter 12, so we discuss about impersonalism, personalism, and Krishna also confirmed that actually one who engages in the Bhakti Yoga process, he can become a most perfect yogi. So now, actually, how the Bhakti Yoga process is to be executed, you know? So some of these are instructions are now coming through. So here, Krishna is actually instructing Arjuna to actually focus, fix his mind upon him, and also asking to engage all his intelligence in him as well. So as devotee also shared the realization, so I was thinking about actually the importance of actually having mind focus on Krishna all the time. As mind is called actually is a kind of a master of senses. Mind is actually directing all the senses. So there are a lot of verses in Bhagavad Gita, as we studied previously, about how we can actually control mind. Rather than control, how can we engage our mind in devotional services? So there are many instructions, and if one can able to actually engage his mind in the devotional activities, then as more and more we engage in Krishna's service, our mind, our intelligence, and even our bodies are always somehow actually engage in a Krishna service. So engagement of the mind is very, very important. And I was meditating on this point that mind is actually naturally inclined to engage us in materialistic activities. So there is always a enticing us to actually engage in sense gratificatory activities. So it's not very natural for us to actually engage ourselves in a devotional service. So there is a training required, and one who actually practice this instruction of Bhagavad Gita, regularly, then abhyasena kaunteya, that instruction that by practicing, one can actually get to the stage that he can actually engage his mind and all the senses in Krishna's service. And that's how the senses get purified. And one can actually progress to the next level. As Avinash Prabhu also highlighted that the intelligence part is very, very important. And I was thinking about that as intelligence sits above the mind. So even when we actually saying that one has to engage his intelligence in Krishna's service. So intelligence actually used to discriminate. It has a function to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. So one has to use his intelligence, in a such a way that we will be always making a right decisions, so that we are actually leading towards Krishna. So we had this discussion. Amrish Prabhu gave the lecture a few weeks ago that the decision to become Krishna conscious is not just one decision. It's not like religion that you accept once and you're done. It's a daily process. Maybe you're making decisions throughout the day. It's a daily, continuous process. So when we use intelligence correctly, because intelligence is there, and also there is a Paramatma, sitting in everyone's heart. He's also directing. It helps you understand, what is the right direction we should go. So if you make all the right decisions, then, as Guru Maharaj has instructed, that one has to actually create a very nice actually situation or environment for one's own bhakti. So we have the actually ability, or we have actually it is within our control to create an environment, where we can actually nurture our devotional service, because there is always a distractions. There are always a distraction all around us, and everyone is busy, in this actually materialistic life, that no one has a time. And this has become actually, it's not, I'm not saying that people are not busy. Everyone is busy, but actually, whenever we're busy, we try to actually give a second priority. Sometimes it is, I'm also, so second priority devotional service, and we try to actually get onto the most important thing, most likely the material things. So if we actually, when we learn to give the first priority devotional service, then this is in our actually, in our benefit, we can able to actually use, our intelligence and make a right decision, and try to actually prioritize our devotional activities. So by doing so, we are creating an environment in such a way that we're always engaged. Otherwise, there are always excuses. We can say that we don't have time, or we have this and that. We always get distracted. So by using the intelligence, we can actually help ourselves to progress on this path. And also, there is also always a discussion in the program. It says that, one has to surrender, one has to surrender under the spiritual master, the pure devotee, and also Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada instructed, do not surrender your intelligence. So even actually, when you are on the right path, there is always always a need to use intelligence in every activity that we do, that we have to actually analyze, and we have to keep making the right decisions. Otherwise, it's very easy to get misguided, by other people. So I think this point is very, very important, that using intelligence in Krishna's service, So to actually implement that practically, one has to be very deliberate as well, to actually give a time to all the things, that come our way every day, and how to act. Srila Prabhupada in the purport also actually gave this example of actually chanting Hare Krishna and accepting the prasad, offering actually bhoga to the Krishna and accepting the prasad. So these are very basic things that we learned, when we actually come into Krishna consciousness. So we say that when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that we are in direct association of Krishna. Then Maharaj says that this is a personal appointment with the Krishna. So one has to be very, very particular about to be present when we chant. Our mind should not actually wander off. But this happens, and one has to train our mind to be focused on the transcendental vibration of the chanting. So because this is, very basic, everyone knows that the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very, very important. It become a routine. And I'm also a victim of that, when you're actually busy on something, you keep chanting, but your mind is not there. And such an important activity that actually we forget focus on the chanting. So Srila Prabhupada has reminded us, by actually chanting Hare Krishna, you're in direct association of Krishna. And that everyone want to actually trying to achieve the association of Krishna. And when it is offered, we don't realize that actually that we are committing offense of not being attentive. And it is also one of the offenses, one of the 10 offenses to the holy name. So I realized that I have to be very, very careful during the chanting, and have to be very aware that actually I'm chanting and I have to focus. So reminding ourselves. And also the offering bhoga, so it's also very basic Krishna conscious principle that we offer everything to Krishna, and especially when we offer the food, and the remnants is actually honored as a prasadam. So this is also very important that actually initially we become that accepting prasad, is very, very important. Prasad is not just food, but also instruction. But in context of actually just a food, when I remember this discussion from actually previous Bhagavad Gita verse, where it is very nicely explained that when we accept prasad, actually it purifies our actually body, all the cells within the body. And when they are purified, also brain cells also get purified. And when the brain cells get purified, the intelligence get purified. And when the intelligence is purified, then we actually think about nivritti marg. So that is what is actually explained in that verse. That nivritti marg then actually it help us actually think about actually detachment, giving up the materialistic thing or association, and engaging ourselves more and more in devotional activities. So these are very basic things, but actually it is highlighted here, purport by Srila Prabhupada, that following these instructions, one can easily actually progress on this path, that one doesn't really has to actually go and try to learn something extraordinary. Just by actually purifying or chanting devotional activities, one can very nicely progress on this path and achieve the desired goal. So these are the point, Prabhuji, I realized while meditating on this. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for all your wonderful realizations. Yes, it's been a long time that we're studying Bhagavad Gita for so many years now. We had kept the Wednesday program on going, with online television and online realization and so many things, movies also, and watch serial and all those things. Somehow it is going on. Let us see how it continues, as long as it continues. By worship Guru Maharaj. So this verse All of you have covered the points very nicely, very clearly. Here, what Krishna is saying and what Prabhupada are referring to is only pure devotional service. But Prabhupada are so kind and so clever, because the words are absolute, that even devotees who are not pure, like myself, and we are in the process of being pure, this purport relates to me also perfectly. So Krishna is saying that upon me certainly mind fixed. Mai eva mana adhasva. So he says mind, mana. The second one he says mai buddhim niveshaya. So into me buddhim, intelligence, you apply. So he's saying fixing the mind and applying the intelligence. This is very important. This is where the process is given. Mind cannot be applied. Mind needs to be fixed. Intelligence needs to be applied. When you say I'm applying my mind on the subject, we are trying to say that yes.
Okay, I found this on the web.
Something happened to Siri. Thank you, Siri. Thank you. Hare Krishna. You don't need it.
No problem.
Look at this. It's the AI. Okay. Right. So, where was I? Chain of thought got broken. Mind intelligence.
Mind cannot be applied. Says you were saying.
After that, I moved to some other point that we say that I'm applying my mind. I'm applying my mind when we say that. Actually, what we're trying to say is this, that I am focusing my thoughts. So I'm fixing my mind by applying the intelligence. That's what we're trying to say. The third line, it says that Nivasishyasi Mai Eva means you will live. Nivasishyasi, you will live. Mai in me, Eva, certainly. He is giving you a guarantee now. If you do this thing, fixing the mind and applying the intelligence in your actions, in your dealing with me, with Krishna, then you will live in Krishna, and then Ata Urdhvam na samshaya. Ata Urdhvam is thereafter, never, there is no doubt about it. Do not worry about it. You will live in me. Have no doubt. So just like Krishna is saying that worship me, I will take away all your sin, do not worry. He's saying similar thing. He's giving assurances all the time. Don't worry. Don't have any doubts. I'm assuring you. Yeah. So it is very simple instruction. And if you break it down, it is very simple. You fix your mind on Krishna, apply intelligence so that the mind doesn't go away, wander here, there. That's what we all discussed, very nicely. But because very complicated, it's very hard to do. And it is hard to do in Kali Yuga, more difficult to do. As it is difficult in material world. But today in material world, where as it is, everything, the mode of goodness is contaminated by mode of ignorance, by tamas. In all this anti-spiritual environment, we are living in Kali Yuga, where the reign of Kali as a personality is a king. He is a deity, presiding deity of this Kali, of this age. Which would mean that his business of Kali, he will contaminate every single thing that we do. That is his business. He will have his agents do a lot of activities. That is the reason why in our Hindi language, it may not be very scripturally correct phrase, but it is said that khara sona, all that glitters is not gold. And real gold, khara sona, will not glitter as much as kharab sona. It will fool you. Contaminated sona will glitter more than real sona. Just like the fruits and vegetables that we grow, the fruits and vegetables which have been not the original one, but if a mixed breed and all that, they are resistant to so many pests, all these things, The original are very different. And they look very beautiful than original. But nutrition very, very less. I was seeing a research where they found that today's tomatoes that we eat, the tomatoes that we eat from the supermarket, we get all tomatoes. They last for a long time. How many days this tomato is ripe and it lasts? Do anybody remembers? So you guys are better than me, cooking and all. Who knows this? Not 1 or 2 days or 3 days. They're there for long. Is it not so?
Yes, Prabhuji. We usually finish it off in 1 week, but I'm pretty sure it lasts more than that. Yeah.
Because it's lying on the warehouse. Before that, the grower, from growing it, is transported.
Plus they put in fridge as well, probably.
Yeah, they put in fridge. They're transported. But even if it is not hybrid, you put in fridge, it'll still get, what do you call it? Over this thing and over ripen and they will be gone. You can't have it.
Yes.
So this was done. This hybrid is about 200 times hybrid change has happened. It is done from Israel because they manufacture the tomatoes and they are shipping the tomatoes to America and all the places. You said people don't have it if you ship. It takes 7 days to ship and go and reach there. And by the time it is going to the supermarket, you pick up and do so. They have to mix this. He said, yes, that's right. Here it is mixed tomato. And there are different kinds of tomatoes. Turkish tomatoes are different with it's got mustache sort of things, green that leaves with it, it's mustache leaves. Looks very beautiful. And this is it, the original tomato and bleached tomato. So when you are growing, all of you are good growers and farmers, So get seeds which are heirloom seeds. Means these seeds are not changed. Heirloom nowadays, anywhere 50 years or over, the same seeds are used, called heirloom seeds. And you can use those seeds from there to replant again. All these hybrid tomatoes, hybrid vegetables and fruits, you cannot replant the seeds again. You see? Yeah. Hybrid will costly also. So what I'm saying is that everything is contaminated. Our food is contaminated. And we only will do it. This is how Kali works. Guru Maharaj had put a very nice saying. He said, we have killed our air, we have killed our water, we have killed our food, we have killed everything around us. The fiery arrow is hurtling towards us. And we have to take unflinching shelter of Krishna because we can't do anything about it. I may not do, but you will do. See? We may protect ourselves, but the neighbor will not protect himself or herself. We are done with it. And it's not some energy. I want you all to understand as leaders now that Kali is not some kind of energy sitting and we don't see it. It is personality. His own agencies everywhere. Everything is contaminated. That is the reason why our intelligence have to be used. You have to apply intelligence in everything. It cannot be cheated, especially in religion. The easiest way for godlessness, one of the qualities of godlessness in Kali Yuga, one of the qualities of Kali Yuga is godlessness. How best to make people godless? When you make a god man, into a agent of Kali, and he himself does wrong things, people will lose interest. Is it not so? Instead of somebody else claiming that this god people are very bad, all those things, here a god person only does something wrong. Priests, Maulanas, Brahmanas, if they do wrong things, finish. People are losing trust, losing faith in them. Gone. So that's why India is one of the few places where you'll still see that religion is still progressing. Whereas everywhere else, religion is going down. People are becoming more irreligious and they're happy about it. I remember one person saw me chanting so many years ago here in Auckland, and he was so concerned. He came to me and said, I'm going to help you. Don't become religious. You don't understand, I'm helping you. He's telling me, he couldn't believe it. I said, thank you very much. He said, I'm mad, I'm brainwashed, Actually, it happened with me. I said, leave me alone. I want to chant now. And I was skipping some time from my schedule and I was chanting from work, in sales, so I could do it. Lunchtime. So now intelligence have to be utilized in this way. So everything is going against us. This is the point I want to emphasize. We are fighting a big war, and Kali will always come to trap us in some form, shape. That is the reason why in our preaching, especially in my preaching, this is my flavor, and Maharaj's mercy of honesty. Maharaj said one thing, Amrish has given me honesty. He deals with me very honestly. So why should we not, this is what Maharaj recognized, so why should we not do it with everybody else? So tell everybody, do not trust me, trust yourself, because you're going to take decisions, not me. Going back to Godhead, we are going alone. Anybody says, oh yeah, well, you come with us and we're doing it, they're wrong. Nobody can guarantee anything. And this is where every day we have to take a decision. Every day we will take decisions all the time. Is it beneficial for my bhakti? Yes or no? How much is beneficial? How much time do I invest? Yes or no? Again, using intelligence to discriminate. Where do I fix my mind on a subject? And mantra, we use the help of mantra, Maha mantra. Mantra means, man means mind. Tra means sayate, one which focuses upon the mind. You break other association and focus upon this. It's called mantra. And we use Maha mantra. Somebody says Jesus is God, somebody says Allah is God, somebody says Shiva is God, somebody says Hanuman is God, somebody says Krishna is God. So what is God? Who's God? Why is he God? So see, Krishna is giving us assurances. So many places. Have no doubt. Arjun, have no doubt. So here he says, Ata urdhvam na samshayaha. So you never have doubt about this. If you put your mind upon me, certainly you put your mind upon me. Apply intelligence in me in all activities. Okay? So I have no doubt you will be residing in me. Although you reside in this material world full of wrong things, anti-God activities, everything is against you. And that is the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very beneficial and very compassionate towards living beings in Kali Yuga. There are 10 offenses which needs to be avoided in the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, which we chant, right? But even if we don't chant the holy names, those 10 offenses, but if we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda, and then chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Here Mahaprabhu is in many forms in the Panchatattva. Mahaprabhu is in the form of God himself as a servant. Then he is in Nityananda Prabhu, he is again manifesting in the form of his expansion. he himself in expansion form. Third, Advaita Prabhu is again he is himself, but in the form of his incarnation as Mahavishnu. Garadhar Pandit is a form of his energy, Radharani, him only. And Shivas is his devotee, Narad Muni. So again, his devotee, again, he is a part and parcel of him only, as Jiva Tattva. So he is sitting in the middle of everything. So what there's a reason why we chant this mantra. See, there are many Apavargas. I have not told you about many things. But we should do it also. You can do research also. Many Apavargas we should know who chant Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name and do something else with it. We won't even know this. What mantras are they chanting? It may be all right. As a devotee, they may be emotional, they may do it, they may get some benefit, but we do it this way. Why do we do this way is another subject matter altogether. You see? So that is the reason why when there is complete anti-bhakti activities, anti-Krishna activities in Kali Yuga, material world in the first place, but Kali Yuga is surcharged millions of times more. That's why we hoard money, there is Kali in it. Hoard gold, there is Kali in it. Now, one person speaks something and the gold value up and down happens. Stocks goes down, goes up. What is this? It's sentiments? What stock markets work on sentiments? Does it make any sense to you? So stock market doesn't work on science. It works on sentiments. How does it work? This is Kali Yuga. This is complete Kali Yuga. You cannot trust anybody. Your best friend becomes your enemy, not trustworthy. Why should I help you? Okay. So back to this point that our activities, we try and Krishnaize everything to the best of our ability, and slowly and steadily, as we very intelligently apply and discriminate our activities, without getting caught up. You should know when to get caught up, on what things to get caught up. If we get caught up on everything, then we will not be able to reach our goal. Yeah. So, and Krishna is in the heart, guiding us in every step. He said, don't doubt. Yeah. Abandon of religion, surrender unto me. I'll give you protection. Yeah, from all sins. Do not fear. Again, do not fear. So many places. He knows we are very fragile people as living beings. Jiva, Tattva, we are very minuscule. We can be enamored by material energy, external energy, or internal energy. You see? We are confused with so many things. And Maharaj would always say this, you're sitting here nicely listening to the class beautifully. Suddenly, something happens to your brain, you stand up and you walk away. And you say, this is wrong, that is wrong. Hare man, you're sitting here nicely, what is the difficulty? This is where the mind is not fixed. So it is very imperative. If one thing you do, if one thing you learn, I'm not saying I've attained it. Sorry, I'm not. I'm in the process of attaining it. But there's a but in it. But one thing which I try to do is that consistency. You choose what war you want to fight. Okay? And you focus upon it consistently. Yes or no, yes, and consistently go. Try to do it as much as you can. And this consistency is progress. We may not be able to focus upon Krishna all the time. It's not too difficult. It's not too fantastic. Oh, you can't concentrate on Krishna, so bad. No, it is normal not to concentrate on Krishna. But trying is rare. And think others are trying better than you. But you do not know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't worry about their closed doors, you worry about your closed doors. Are we trying or not? Are we using our money properly? Are we having our income properly? Is our mind not worrying about how to utilize spiritual activities in material things? We are very clever in that. We will try to please spiritual activity if it fits our material needs. So no, उसमें बन जाएगा अपने, we'll get some credit for doing this. These things are very subtle, very wrong, but you're cheating Krishna, you're cheating yourself. And a devotee knows this, but keeps quiet. So let it continue. This is normal. But what is not normal is the person performing devotional service. So this is what we discussed on Sunday, Udaradihi and Kripanadihi. So all of us as leaders, we must be Udaradihi. We know everything, we understand everything, but we choose to keep quiet. Do not think we are fools. And this can be seen by others. Just to conclude this point, don't think other people are foolish. They know this person, don't touch him, he will not touch you. He is very honest, they understand this. And don't consider them to be fools. Yeah. So, Prabhupada in the purport are giving references to pure devotional service. One concentrates upon the mind, his mind upon Krishna, and dancing on the lips, he has energy. Yeah. So, yeah, I just thought these are my just few points to be said on this. Yeah. Anyone wants to say anything? Please feel free. Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. Hare Krishna. So we'll conclude today's discussion then. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Gurudev ki Jai.
Jai.
Word to word synonyms, translations and purport by Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Lord Chandra Premanande. Hare Hare.
Hare
Very good.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Thank
Guruji.
you,
Thank you.
Prabhupada.